Hey, what's going on? Rich here with Summit Life Group. You hear a lot of people talk about in the insurance business a book of business. And what is the real value of having a big book of business? What does it mean? What is the value of it? And so I want to talk about that for a few minutes, because if you're brand new, you're just getting started in the life insurance business, you have no customers or no clients, you have no book of business. And so, there's a price to pay to go out and build a book of business. And what does that mean? I mean, if you're brand new, you might write a friend or a family member a life insurance policy, and maybe you work some referrals, and then you purchase leads is one of the things one of the ways that we teach. But there's a lot of ways that you can go out, a lot of methods you can go out and start to develop a book of business. And the reason it's valuable is because the way the life insurance business works, when you sell a life insurance policy, you're going to earn a much higher first year commission from the different insurance companies, different insurance carriers. You're going to earn a much higher commission the first year. And typically you're going to be advanced the commission for the entire year before the insurance company has received all the insurance premiums. And that allows you to earn more up front, to be able to, certainly if you're buying leads, to be able to pay for that expense, that business expense, and then to be able to profit. But what happens in month 13 is, as long as that client is still paying their premiums, which they hopefully are, then that generates what's called a renewal commission. It's a residual type of income for you, because it's a client that you wrote over a year ago, and now they're still paying their premiums in month 13, 14, 15, 16, and you're going to get paid a much smaller commission, but a renewal commission for that client. And so what happens is, and that can go on for many, many, many years. And of course, the exact commission rate's going to vary based on your contract, the carrier that you're writing, and all that. But that you can earn a renewal income for many, many, many years. And so as you're building up a client base, it starts with one client, then another one, then another one. What happens is that book of business, of that book of clients that you have, begins to expand, and that renewal income kind of begins to stack on each other. And typically, you really don't notice this until the first couple years of building your business consistently. You start to see it in year one, but it usually takes a couple years before you really start to notice it. So there is certainly a value, and the more years you stack on, the more renewal income that you receive. And there's a lot of value in that alone, because you have some commissions coming in whether you write any new business or not. So the renewal income is certainly valuable. But the bigger part of having a book of business is not only the renewal income, but all of the sales that book of business generates you. Because what begins to happen as you have happy customers who like the way you help them get insurance is, the bigger your book of business is, the more you actually start receiving incoming phone calls, not live transfer lead calls that you're paying for, but you actually have clients who actually call you up and ask to purchase another life insurance policy. That happens all the time as you have a large book of business, because they liked you. They saved your number. Hopefully you did a good job with that client. So that client reaches back out to you to purchase more insurance. Or they're calling you to say, hey, can you take care of my mom or my daughter or my sister or my cousin? They're actually sending you referrals that you're not even seeking. They're coming into you. And this happens all the time. And guess who it happens the most for? The people with the biggest book of business. On top of that, when you have a book of business, you really, in a sense, have your own other set of leads. In addition to buying actual leads, people that have expressed interest in some way about life insurance, when you have a book of business, those are actually clients that you can call. You can tell them happy birthday. You can send them a card. You can call them on the anniversary of their policy. Well, what begins to happen when you do that is, even if you had to reach out to them, it enhances that relationship, and it reminds them of, oh yeah, I have so-and-so needs some life insurance. I really appreciate you reaching out. There's opportunities to sell additional life products. So there's a lot of different, life insurance products that you can offer. And so oftentimes calling clients leads to adding other sales. So the bigger your book of business is, it really does become valuable, because a large percentage of your sales start to become not referrals. They're not customers or clients that you had to go seek and find or purchase leads or whatever. You were able to develop and sell more policies within that same book of business. And what you find is people that have been in the business for a long time, have a large book of business. They almost make all of their sales from their book of business. So that's the real value of having a customer base, a book of business, is that eventually it gets to a point that new sales become much easier to come by. You add that on top of the renewals, but I think oftentimes there's this perception that the only value is the renewal income, and that's certainly a big part of it, but the ease of finding new sales is what I find to be the most valuable. And of course, the bigger the book of business is, the more valuable it is. So my message to you is that it's going to get easier. This business gets easier as you develop a book of business, but there is a price to be paid, right? Everybody that has a book of business had to go put in work and sweat equity to go develop that book of business. And this is why it's the hardest in the very beginning. This is why so many people obtain a life insurance license and quit, because they're experiencing the absolute hardest it's going to be. Think about this. You're starting something where you don't have the skill yet. So you're having to learn the skill. You're having to get product knowledge. You're having to maybe invest in leads. Maybe you're also still working a job. So you're doing all of these things. You're not experiencing any back-end money yet, any back-end portions of advances. You're not experiencing any renewals yet. You have no book of business. The absolute hardest this business ever is in the very beginning. And that's when so many people quit. So part of it is just staying, not just in the business, not just having a license. You can have a license for 20 years and never make any money, but actually staying engaged in the process with the understanding that the farther you get into the business, the greater your book of business becomes, the easier the business becomes as well. And I don't ever like to refer to things as easy, but I just will assure you that the larger your book of business, the easier it is to make sales. And so there are people that actually have gone and purchased a book of business, and I've heard a lot of success stories along that way. But either way, a price was paid, a purchase was made. So whether you go out and put in the work or you purchase one, it requires effort to go build your book of business. But when you do, it is a valuable asset that you own. And the last thing I want to tell you is, because it is so difficult, and it takes a lot of work, and it takes some time to build up a client base, a book of business, my word of caution to you if you're a brand new agent would be, make sure that you own your book of business. There's a lot of setups out there where you might feel like you own your book of business. You're being told you do, but in reality, you really don't. The agency that maybe you're partnered with does. And so I encourage you, because it takes so much work and effort to build up your book of business, do it in a way that you own it so that you don't ever have to start over again building up a new book of business. So that's just a word of caution. If you're an employee, you're receiving a W-2, and you're getting a salary, that's different. But if you're out there, independent agent, and you're building your business, make sure you own your business. Make sure you own your book of business so it's something that you can continue to add on so the business gets easier and easier. So I hope it helps. If you're out there looking for an agency to partner with, check out Summit Life Group. Click on the link below. We are the Lifestyle IMO. We want to help people build a lifestyle, own a business that they can own outright, help you grow and scale. We work in a lot of different niches. We know how to sell over the phone, remote. We specialize in that. but reach out. Someone from our team will reach out to you. Just have a conversation and see if we might be a good fit for you. We'd love to partner with you. We support both full-time and part-time agents. So fill out the link below. Have a great day.